Have you had fun today?
This is a great date.
This is our first date.
Today we're gonna play Never Have I Ever First Date Edition.
So how are your dates like? What's a date for Spencer?
Food.
I haven't been on a first date in 4.5 years, so
I went on a couple of first dates like a month ago because I became single and I was like, better go on a date.
I've only been on 3 first dates where they actually took me out to eat.
I went on a first date at a karaoke bar. We talked for a while and it was like fun to have the karaoke in the background, but he like did karaoke in the middle of our date.
No.
I realized in relationships that someone can't take you out to eat and pay for it at least once. That wasn't a date.
Well, one of the first dates I had recently, I mean, it wasn't like horrendously bad, but this guy was like obviously looking for like a super serious girlfriend. So what do you look for in a relationship? So the best part of a relationship is when you're so comfortable with each other, you just watch TV all the time together and snuggle. I'm like, I don't want to talk about snuggling on my first date. Like, I like getting to know someone. He was like, no, we have to be comfortable with each other. I'm like, so you're just like farting in front of your girlfriends, basically, is what you're saying.
Never have I ever kissed on a first date.
What?
Is that weird to do that? I feel like most people kiss on the first
Very
date.
normal. If you're like feeling it,
Yeah.
you should either ask or like go for it. I've been the kiss initiator many times.
Ooh.
The 3 dates that I went on, I never kissed that person. But I mean, a random hoe at a club, but on a date, I have not.
Oh God, they have to come to me first.
I think each time the person was surprised that I like did it.
I feel like I go on dates with people that I need more time before I can kiss them.
I did it to my fiance. I went in for the kiss, we pulled away, and his face was just. And I was like, oh, he doesn't really like me.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, I
He's like
mean-
not that into it. And so we parted ways and I was like, I'm never seeing him again.
The dude that like I had the date with that was bad, he went and just kissed me without any kind of like signal that I would want to, and that was like gross. It is good to try and like figure out if they want it first.
Never have I ever gone home with someone on the first date.
I get so nervous that I'm gonna be judged as like a harlot if I go home with someone. Yeah, there's that thought in my mind of like, I don't want to seem like a slut, which I hate. And that is what is drilled into you growing up as a woman.
I have never done that.
Mom, Dad, I'm sorry, but I think you might have assumed this.
Once I like lost my virginity, I was just like, I'm gonna and so I did not care. I want to see what the sexual chemistry is like.
It's weird because everyone I went on a date with, I never went on a second date with them again also. I didn't vibe.
I'm in a current situation where this paid off, so.
Hey.
First time sex with a new partner is so awkward and like, it's
is.
never great. And so I'd rather know them a little bit more before I go into that world because it could just end up in disaster.
Never have I ever faked an emergency to leave early on a first date.
Boring.
Yeah, I just suffer through it.
Same. I find it so hard to tell someone I don't like them, this is the greatest time ever, even though I'm dying inside.
I would try so hard to make it go well.
I do this in my everyday life.
Even when my roommate leaves the apartment, I tell her like, text me if you need me to save you.
I once ended up on a date that like was drinks and then it turned into like another bar and then I didn't like him. And then it turned into like a nightclub and I was like, when can I leave? And I don't know why I didn't just leave. And then of course didn't understand when I eventually told him I didn't like him, which is my fault because I was giving him the wrong signals. He was acting like this is the best time ever. He's like, oh, we get along so well. I'm like, ah.
Honestly, like, I should have diarrhea because I know it's not gonna be a second date. I live in my poo-poo truth.
Bubble guts.
Never have I ever backed out at the last minute because I looked at their pictures and decided I wasn't into them.
I don't think that I have.
Don't think I have.
I don't think I talked to anybody whose pictures and profile I'm like not into.
So I love Tinder and I love flirting with people and just like getting matches because it reminds me that I am that hot because every person I've ever met, they look like their photos.
I would sit there and like analyze
Same.
each one for like 15 minutes and be like, okay, would I want to talk to this person? Do I find them attractive? Could I see a future? Like, so I never ended up in a situation where I wasn't in some way, at least like somewhat physically attracted to them.
It's been more like I showed up to a date. Like sometimes people will take a good picture. And then you get to the date and you're like, oh.
People are very good at texting and writing and not so good in real life. Like you can have an amazing conversation on text with someone and then you meet them and they're like a potato. And I was just like,
Honestly, if you're 6'3", that's all I need. I want a good credit score.
Never have I ever ended a date early because I wasn't having a good time.
I didn't make like a crazy excuse, but he made me so tired because it was boring. I was just like, oh man, I could really use my bed right now. Then he's like, can you take me home? I was like, fine, don't try and kiss me.
I don't waste my time in any situation. If I'm not having fun, if I'm not feeling it, if it's not good, I use my diarrhea excuse and I'm out. I only have one life to live and I'm not gonna spend it with someone who's not making me feel good.
Wait, maybe I have.
Oh.
It was the karaoke date. He stayed there, and literally as I was walking out the door, he was like getting ready to do his next karaoke song. So I was like, he's still on this date with himself. It's just me who's leaving. He's with his people, he's fine.
Likely, if you're not feeling it, the other person most of the time can sense that. Yeah.
Never have I ever felt scared on the first
Scared
date.
on a first date? I think I have a pretty good like screening process, and I get really good reads on people. So I have never put myself in a position where I was around someone who I had any kind of question about.
I don't think I've ended up with a person who has made me feel scared, but I have always taken a precaution, which sucks that we even have to do, but I would text my friend who lived in New York and be like, I'm going on a first date with some stranger. This is the address we're going to. If I don't text you in like 3 hours or something, I'm dead. So, or it's going really well, one or the other.
Because I love ooey gooey folks. I love the really
Ooey
soft
gooey.
and sensitive. Like, I knew that at the end of the day, if it came down to it, I could probably beat their ass, so
Joyce, you could beat my ass.
anytime.
Never have I ever gone on a first date just to get a free meal. I don't care that much about food that I would want to sit through boring conversation.
Be honest. Yes, I've done it. Whatever. I'm living in LA. I gotta pay rent. I'm broke right now. Yeah, someone take me out to like get some sushi. Hell yeah, I'm gonna eat that damn sushi.
If ever I went on a date, I was like, well, I'll be paying for half of it, so we're not going somewhere
That's
crazy
true.
fancy.
Like, it's so awkward to assume something like that.
I don't know if I want to do this, but then you're like, well, you just paid rent and you don't get paid for another 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's go on the date. Was the food a good incentive? Sure.
Out of 3 dates, one of those dates I went just for food.
The way to get a date done quickly is to go have like just a drink somewhere.
Yes.
You can't have dinner. Plus then you've got to try and eat in front of them and you can't even really taste the food because you're concentrating so much on how well you're eating it without throwing it down you and on the other person and trying to talk while you're having a mouthful.
Yeah, you're either enjoying new food or a new person, not both.
Yes. Never have I ever gotten into an argument on a first date.
There were 2 things that stuck out to me, and I can't remember which one we like argued about. He didn't even like really care when we got to talking about it, but we had like a little back and forth about it. I was like, so why did you answer that way?
Yikes.
Politics.
1, I'm from Boston. I can get in an argument with anyone. 2, I get a little excited when I get in an argument. 3, there are multiple kinds of arguments you can get into, first of all.
I wouldn't call it like a fight. It was just like we had a discussion about it because we disagreed.
I've gotten into an argument, not in like the fun, flirty way, which I mean, I'm also a Haitian woman, so I love to argue. So, I had to cuss him out. I had to correct him real quick.
go,
you know?
"Whoop."
Never have I ever talked about having kids on the first date.
I haven't, but the person I'm on a date with has.
What?
The freaking dude I went on a date with the other day who was just like super into relationship.
I'm an avoidant attachment, so that's not my vibe. It takes a lot.
I feel like a discussion of kids is something you want to get into when you're like about to do something serious.
I just don't need that information on a first date. That's terrifying to me. I'm a commitment phobe anyway, and so like throw the word kid at me, I will try to run away and then not because I'm too nice.
I'm not gonna talk about kids with some unique person I met on the first date.
Nope.
Never have I ever talked about my ex on the first date.
There's a reason why I'm single, so.
Listen, I'm not. Didn't do this with the current one.
I'm sure
I
that
feel like
I
everyone
have.
does.
Not in like a, let me tell you about my ex
Yeah.
kind of way, but more, it's probably just like come up naturally. Like, yeah, like I went on a date with somebody who like did this or whatever. It was like, I was in a relationship with somebody who was like this.
I have, only because the boyfriends that I've had in the past, I've been with for a very long time, so they've like taken up a significant part of my life. Yeah, you're not supposed to do that, huh?
It's not cute. And I learned that lesson real quick.
I really held it in though because I had broken up with my ex on like a Friday morning. By Friday night, I had scheduled another date. And this person isn't gonna know that I just went through a breakup this morning.
That's crazy. All right, Miss 4 years and engaged. I'm just trying to get to a year, okay?
I think that on a first date, it's most important to be yourself.
Don't put yourself in any situation in which you're uncomfortable, and don't be afraid to like leave.
They accept you for who you are, you throw them in the trash. They deserve you. It's not the other way around.
Your time is valuable and it doesn't deserve to be spent with somebody that you don't get along with.
Yeah, because you're never going to see them again.
It's best to be honest to that person.
Like, hey, you're gonna be a great friend, and if you don't even like them as a friend, say you got diarrhea.
Communication is key. If that communication's not flowing, neither will the love.